Do you want me to just like run through them all? Do you want introductions between the pieces, or should I just do it as one long thing?
Do it as one long thing.
One long thing, okay. But does anyone know? Okay, I'm gonna check the order one more time. So we're going 1, 7, 8, and also remember what number you called out, because those are for you. Each, it was dedicated to you, the number you chose. 4, 3, 5, 9, 6, 2, 4, I don't know where 5 went. All right, well, let's just go for it. Okay, 1. When the teacher explained primary sources, my first thought was not reverence, but doubt and possibilities. How I might go about bending the historical record, what resources I could gather to create something entirely untrue, leave it behind for others to discover as gospel, as testament, as document of lived experiences. Like a detective in reverse, leaving behind tracks to suggest a perfect kind of story, puzzle pieces for some future historian. I could shape a life entirely of fiction and commit to this version of events only. I would be director, actor, producer. Everything would support this performance I had not learned yet. I had not learned yet of unreliable narrators, or the ranking of stories, or how some words will always carry more weight. Then I only thought of building some imagined present to be unearthed as past, passed down as legend, as fact. Now the puzzle pieces take on different shapes, and also the detectives I conjure to reassemble my narratives. Will they plunder layers of internet, palimpsest? Who would be able to slog through the sediment of HTML tags, sift through midden of revisions and drafts after I wipe away these final traces? What history can we pull from a black box of memory? Electric pulses destroying codices, the whisper of metadata traced over veins of digital streams. 7. The footsteps washed away by hungry tides, initials and hearts swallowed. Unclear whether the devouring of the symbol has consumed the couple as well. Nature's own Etch-a-Sketch. Y'all can make noise. It's good. I like it. I like affirmation. 8. The empty lot, encircled by a chain link fence. Several squat buildings close enough to abandon. Clumps of grass poking through. Unkempt bedhead, amid cracked concrete. Not pictured. The families already displaced to make room for 27 stories of luxury towers. Not pictured. The statistics and impacts of dwindling rent-controlled units. Not pictured. The future families about to be displaced. Smallpox and steel are not the only ways to conquer. Not pictured. The earth before the concrete, beneath the layer of palm fronds, fast food wrappers, cigarette butts. Not pictured. Indigenous histories, families displaced generation by generation. Okay, so I couldn't find 4 because it's on the list twice, so I'm moving it to the end. 3. In mock trial, we learned of excited utterances, ancient documents, recorded recollections, ways the state can help us decipher which hearsay must be true, and through whose ears. I have seen enough of the ways we erase and mangle our stories now. 5. Painted walls. I finally painted the walls of my bedroom, for years unable to stake a claim. I live here now. I mentioned that I can always paint it back. Does it make a difference after whether painting over or stripping off layers, sanding down by hand or with machine, the work of 2 sweaty afternoons to splash color over the 4 walls that hold my bedroom together? Does later erasure negate the time, labor, transformation, existence having happened? I think of this and cherish the cracks and bumps in the walls, lines made by previous bodies also contained in this space. What does it mean to create and then erase, like a selfie I post on Instagram and then delete? Did I cease to exist when it did? Do we both cease to exist? Somewhere there is a record, little pixels floating in a stream of big data. What does it matter if its only purpose is to bring me joy? And when did I decide the limits of how much time I can spend on myself? These walls drenched in color, dark slate blue-gray like emotions, like stormy sea, like sailor returning home, like men who do have anchors. Like the needle poking through the skin of my thigh. It tells the same story. I live here now. Nine. If she forgets our faces, what is wiped away? Her connection to us, or the label, waipo? She has already lost so much, the selfishness of children boarding airplanes. But to the last day, she remembers enough to smile. Those creases crinkling in the corners of her eyes, the grip of her fingers squeezing our hands. finds ways to tell us she loves us when the words can't get past the tube reaching down into stomach. To the end, she does not let the ocean swallow everything. 2. When we lay together, I think of it. How in another 12 to 1500 years, no one will know about the way you traced your finger across the lines of my face, ran thumb over eyebrow and underneath, brushed your lips softly against mine. How you measured in moments with the whorls of your fingertips the curve of my jaw. If I write it, will this become fact or contested fable? Surely no one could help but be incredulous. How implausible. 2 of us on the margins finding one another in a world so intent on breaking us both down. And the others too, carving out tenderness amid so much asteroid rubble. Will this poem throw everything into question, dissolve the foundation on which our histories stand? 6. I also could not tell you what we have lost to the oceans, standing at the edge of unending blue. I forget how much lays buried in her depths. 4 is gone again. This seemed like a really good idea. Just gonna put everything else on the ground and slowly gather everything else up as I leave. This is intentional. 4! I found 4! Yay! Performance on go. And I like saved it for last, and now I'm like, this is not my favorite piece. It's okay, 4. Let's take a moment. 4. When they reconstruct the story of my life, will you be there? Resting in the margins, warm in bed, smiling through screens across the distance. When Plato learned of the alphabet, did he fear the parchment or the ink? Which one would be his undoing? Did he imagine his words copied over again and again, sacrosanct and holy, stripped from memories of words whispered brother to brother, knitted brows, sweat pooling beneath stiff fabric? We lose so much of smell and sounds what history felt like on the tongue. The pitch of his laughter as we stumbled over a difficult passage together. Pay attention. The distraction of his scent, the presence of his body. We might have been there, somewhere, everywhere, throughout the ages, every era. This much holy cannot be new. The way constellations remain, mapping our stories, guiding points of brightness. The way we magicked our connections between each point of light, illuminating the darkness with our brave burning. I'm getting the rap sign, so you don't have to hear the sad piece, but it's very sad, and I can read it to you in the parking lot after the show. If you were like, man, that was a great poetry set, I feel great, I feel energized, I really wish I could just feel sad again. Thank you all for letting me experiment and throw things on the floor. I really, really, really appreciate the space and all of